we're going to have a conversation about the excuses you make for yourself, which are similar to the excuses you make for others, for when they mistreat you, for when they disrespect you, for when they cross your boundaries, all of those things. You also excuse yourself when you mistreat yourself, when you mistreat others, when you cross others' boundaries, when you don't even respect your own. And why is that? Because taking accountability requires a level of honesty and an ego that is not fragile. Taking accountability with a fragile ego will have you feeling like you're under attack. Being asked to take responsibility or accountability for something that you've done to someone else will have you reacting like you are under attack, because your ego is so attached to your value and your worth being the result of how well you show up for others, how well you treat others. So the idea that there's a space where you haven't treated someone well, or you haven't been kind to someone, or you haven't been considerate of someone, has your ego freaking the fuck out, which is why your response is to get defensive. Your inability to take accountability for your continued choices is the reason why you are feeling stuck, is the reason why you are repeating the same patterns and cycles with work, with relationships, with parenting, with friendships. It is why you can look at yourself and actually see in the many ways that you are living a life similar to that of your parents, even though you said that you were going to do different. Your inability to take accountability is what's going to keep you repeating those same cycles. We call it shadow work, right? Because shadow work is looking at all the parts of you that you are so used to repressing that anytime something in your life pushes up against any of those parts, it's defense. Your ego is like, hell no, right? Shadow work, therapy, any of this healing work that you can do without taking accountability renders you what? Powerless. Renders you with more understanding or awareness of yourself and no change. Because you can understand why and the reason why certain things are the way that they are, because of how you grew up and because of systems, and those things are important. What are you going to do about it? Because once you know something and you're not actively changing it, then it becomes a choice. What are you doing about it? In my coaching program, I have a loving, nurturing space, but I am not the type of coach that will not hold you accountable. I would be doing you a disservice. I would be doing me a disservice. Accountability is at the center of true change. Because once you can sit and take accountability for what it is that you are choosing to continue to do, repeat, and perpetuate, then you can start to choose another option. Only once you take accountability for this is the part that I'm playing, then you can choose, okay, what part do I want to play? You can unsubscribe from the cycle of things with accountability, not simply by understanding it, right? Understanding and awareness, those are things that you need to be aware of things, and yes, understand things before you can change it, because how can you change something when you're not aware of it? But for many people, they get stuck there because it strokes the ego. It feels good to have someone to blame for why you respond the way you respond, why you react the way you react, why your attachment is the way that it is, right? Why your nervous system is the way that it is, right? why your relationship with money is the way that it is, right? It feels good to have someone, people to blame and give that responsibility to. It feels good. It strokes the ego. It eases, right? It plays into this image of yourself that you've now created in this little chamber of everything has been happening to me. I am a victim. But now that you understand that and you choose to continue to do and live and behave and have the habits and all of these things, now you stop being a victim. Now you're actually an active participant into your own misery. So you say. So you say. So now that you know, what are you going to do? There's a time and a place to sit with the versions and parts of you that did experience all of these things and they were victims. There's a time and a place. But if you're only identifying with your victim self, you cannot move or shift into your liberated self, your sovereign self. And to go from victim to sovereign is your accountability. For you to take accountability, you need to know how to regulate and tend to yourself. Because again, it's a shock to the ego. And we can't eliminate that shock, but we can learn how to work with it so that it doesn't render us stuck, chained, shackled to it. So what are you going to do? If you're a woman navigating these things, or if you're a woman that has a level of understanding, right? Or a level of awareness, but you're finding yourself repeating the same things, and actually you're getting real sick and tired of yourself. That's a signal. When you start really getting tired of yourself, it's a signal. And you can always choose to go back to what you know. But it takes a level of bravery and courage to do something new. And if you're ready to do something new, if you're ready to really initiate and catalyze this change, right? If you're ready to use the energy of being tired of yourself, being tired of your circumstances, being tired of the same thing repeating, follow the link in my bio. I invite you to apply for my program, get a complimentary call with me, and let's chat. Because that is exactly what I do. That is exactly the work that I continuously do for myself. And that is the work that I guide and facilitate for my students in my coaching program, The Return. I'm hoping I see you there. So that we're not doing this again in a year's time where you're like, I'm sick and tired. You better be sick and tired of being sick and tired, girl. Nothing changes if nothing changes.